So this is the second segment of the day. We're officially live. This is the second segment of the day. Remember, I said we're gonna do two first, right? We're gonna do 2-for-1s. So each time I record, I'm gonna do 2 segments. Not only will it give us more content, but it just makes it more time efficient, right? Efficient on time. And so I'm not having to do so many different setups, right? So we're going to do 2 each time. And so we just finished talking about how we're bridging the gap between the customer and the beauty professional, bridging the gap between the customer and the beauty professional. And in case you didn't watch that one, I am Tosh. Diva Styles is my business, Diva Styles Beauty Bar. I also have Diva Styles 2 and GG28 Boutique, better known as Goddess 28 Boutique, right? And so among other things, but those are the main things that I promote, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and add some, not sorry, I'm going to add some more gloss because I did not take enough time between segments, right? Kind of got a little bit later start than I wanted to for the first one. So my goal was to like stop and take chill time. And I did get a couple things done between segments, but I didn't eat. So I'm glad I ate a little something before I got started. So we're going to just roll right on through. So the first segment today, we talked about, like I said, bridging the gap between the customer and the beauty professional. This particular segment, we're going to talk about when to block a customer, when to block a client, whatever you want to say. And we've already talked about the difference between a customer and a client. A customer is someone who comes to you sporadically. They're not invested in you. They're not consistent. They're chair hoppers, or maybe they have a particular stylist, and so they are just coming to you when needed or as needed, but they're not loyal to you, right? A client is loyal to you. They're loyal to your brand. They're loyal to your business. They're invested. They care about your family. They care about your well-being. They want to see you thrive and rise and see your business grow. And so let's go back. Oh, there we go. I'm there. When to block clients. So let's just pause for a moment. What are some times or what are some situations where you think, again, I'm speaking to the beauty professional this time, we try to bridge, but how are we bridging this? You might say that doesn't have anything to do with me, right? Because I'm the customer. That could be offensive to you listening to this, right? Well, no, you do need to listen to it because that means that, respectfully, I say, because it tells you, it's going to help you understand certain scenarios, how to navigate through them, right? What things to not say or not do, or how to shift our thinking and our mindset. So myself as the beauty professional, while I have been a client before, and I am a client as well, a customer, I would say now is more like a client, but now I'm back into my unit. So I would say I'm a customer of theirs now. I mean, hey, I still send people to them and all that. So I would say I'm invested in their well-being and want to see them thrive and rise. Because there's more than enough around here for us all to eat and eat well. So just changing our mindset, shifting, right? Shifting. So yeah, I'm speaking directly to the beauty professional, but I need you customers, I need you, the public, to be sitting there with your water, your popcorn, your goobers, or whatever it is, your peanuts, sitting there listening and taking notes and saying, oh, that's why I see. So now it's not, a misunderstanding, or it's not a time when you're like, you're never coming to them again because you just did not understand, right? Or you're bad mouthing the business or the person or the professional. And again, when I say beauty professional, that could be a groomer, it could be a barber, a nail tech, lip injector, body contour person, esthetician, whatever you do, you're a beauty professional in this realm, right? And so, yeah, so what could be a reason? I'm giving you some time. I did a little talking to give you some time to think about that and say, when would be a time when my style, why would a stylist block someone, right? Why in the world? Let's start there. Why in the world would you block someone? Well, I touched on it in our last segment. If you did not see it, check that out maybe first because it'll make better sense. But to protect our well-being. See, before I did this, I was an admissions representative for a beauty cosmetology school. And so one of my main jobs was to people who reached out to the school, my job was to try to get them enrolled, right? I had a particular quota that I had to meet. Who, thank God I work for myself now. Thank you, Jesus. But I did well at my job. I've always done well at jobs, right? I've always done well at them, right? I've excelled, or at least done really well at them. And so one thing we had to do was just vet them, if you will. Like, it couldn't be something like, oh, I want to start school because I like to do my Barbie's hair when I was little, or I did my mommy's hair. No, that's not a reason, right? That's not going to keep you in school when it going gets tough, when your boyfriend leaves you, when the husband's acting up, when the kid's driving you nuts, when your car breaks down. That's not going to give you motivation to come to school. So we had to figure out what was your goal, what was your end goal, what was your passion, why did you feel passionate about the industry, right? This is an expensive industry to go to school. It's not $50,000, but shoot, if you don't pay that student loan, it could be with those interest rates and everything. But yeah, so it's not a drop in the bucket. We're not talking about $5,000 or $6,000 unless you're in like a small town, or you go to a new place, or maybe they don't have financial aid or something. Maybe it is that cheap. But generally speaking, at that time it was like $20,000, and we're talking about years and years ago. $20,000. I've been in this industry for a while, so I don't even know what it is now. But then it was $20,000, and so you had to sell these people on that, right? But again, they had to let us know why they were passionate and what was going to sustain them in this industry. And so what am I talking about? I want to make sure that our beauty professionals' mental is okay. Like I said before, so often I hear people still to this day, oh, my girlfriend used to be a cosmetologist, or my sister used to do hair, or whatever, or my stylist left the industry. And my question to them every time is, why? 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 They put in this time. You put in this time to get into the industry. You obviously had a reason why, or reasons: financial, longevity, career choice, career change, whatever, retirement, whatever, and making people feel good. It was a ministry, whatever the reasoning was. And then you decide one day, I'm just going to quit. So we've all heard the term burnt out, right? Burnt out. And I was getting close to that myself at one point. I really was. I was, couldn't say no, working way too late, working way too many hours. I realized one day a client at the time was like, oh, she was telling me her itinerary, what she does with her boys when she gets home, and da-da-da. And I'm like, it just dawned on me one day. I think I was on the way to the salon, and I'm like, ding, 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 ding. That's the problem. I don't even go home and digress. I don't even relax. I was literally, we're not talking about months. We're talking about years. I'm like getting up, coming to the salon, typically early or early enough, staying all day. I'm here 12, 15 hours, and turn around and do the same thing in the morning again. Like, I wasn't coming home. I wasn't kicking off my shoes, soaking in my tub, luxuriating, watching a movie, snuggled up with my husband. No, I'm just literally just like on a hamster wheel, which is funny because that's exactly what I told myself when I was at my desk, when I was working in the workforce. I was saying to myself, I would just be something like, got my papers, I'm shuffling papers, I'm putting packages together, I'm talking to corporate, I'm doing this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, if I could just get off this hamster wheel and work for myself one day, if I can just get off this hamster wheel, Lord Jesus. Well, he heard my cry, he heard my prayer. And I hope my volume is loud enough, but he heard my prayer, he heard my cry, and it happened. It was a sacrifice, and not everybody can do it, but I was able to switch gears. And so my point is, when people get into this industry, I'm like, wait, what? Oh my. And I often say, I wish I had gotten my cosmetology, or had gone to a school, or, I think my school that I went to when I came back to Charlotte did have it, I think. But I kind of wish I had gotten it when I was younger. But I don't think it's like a house. Everyone can't handle home ownership at a young age, because you can't see into the distance, and you don't know how fortunate you are, or what the benefits of that is, right? And so it's the same, or the benefits are. So it's the same thing in the beauty industry. It's like sometimes you can't see longevity, you only can see the here and now. And so with young people, they don't always appreciate their cosmetology license, or the opportunities that are before them, right? And so anyway, moving on. So getting burnt out. So yeah, I want people to protect their mental. And so we're bringing this back full circle to when to block clients. I think I talked about before when to fire them, but same thing, when to block, when to block and not just fire them, because I think I can be passive aggressive. And so maybe I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to have that negative moment. I don't want to know how you're going to react. I don't want to take the chance that you're going to react in a negative way, right? Especially if it's a trigger, especially if something they may say is a trigger for me, right? Which I rebuke triggers. That's what Cindy Trim was praying in my ear about today. Just rebuking triggers. That was part of the prayer. But at the same token, you don't want to have those uncomfortable conversations. So sometimes I can be the type of person where I just don't want to deal. Like it's almost like being in a relationship and you're like, what, he getting on my nerves. I don't think I like him. And you just ghost him, or he ghosts the female. Same thing. You could ghost a client. Hey, customers ghost us all the daggone time. They come to you. Y'all had a phenomenal time together and then you never see him again. Well, what happened? Do they bother to call you and say, yeah, I liked our service and our time together, but I decided to go in a different direction? They don't give us the courtesy. We just have to be like, whatever happened to you? So anywho, when to block. So I jotted down a couple of things. I think I've given you more than enough time to figure it out. And so I told you the why. I told you the why. The why is we're protecting our mental. We're protecting our peace. We're protecting our body, because I know I get anxiety really easily. And when I see foolishness come across, it's like, it just gets me. It just gets to me. And so I'm like, let me shut this down. Let me just shut it down, because I don't want to feel like that. Let me just shut it down. And so you want to protect your finances, because if you have someone that's not respecting your business, then it can affect your not only how you feel, your mental, your body, your spirit. It can affect your finances, right? And your time. So the first thing that I put down was too many cancellations. So a reason to block someone, too many cancellations. Well, you might ask, Tosh, what's too many cancellations? And what dropped in my spirit right after I typed that was, that's up to you. That's up to each beauty professional, grooming professional. I cannot tell you what's too many times. Your tolerance level might be better or bigger than mine. You might have a larger tolerance for things than I do. So for me, it may be 2. It might be 1, but for you, it might be 5. It might be 10. I don't know. There might be an indefinite number. Maybe it doesn't bother you one way or the other. And that's perfectly fine. For me, like I said, it depends on how I feel. And it depends on what I feel in my spirit is the reason behind the cancellation. Okay, what do I mean by that? Sometimes, have you ever, I don't know if you book online, like if you have online booking services that you use, I don't know if you've ever had people who booked, like say 2 weeks in advance or a week and a half in advance. And then like the day before or 2 days before, you notice that they cancel, or maybe it was a month in advance. And maybe this didn't happen. It could have happened once. It could have happened twice. Well, it depends. Sometimes I get the feeling, and I'm sure it's true at some points, maybe I was wrong in others, that they were trying to just hold a slot just to see. Or have you ever had that person that booked like 2 days prior and then they made sure they canceled before the 24 hours? Like for me, that means that you were still searching, right? So now you just wasted time, a time slot, which ultimately was money that could have been for someone that was serious. And you're playing on my booking site, on my calendar. So guess what? I blocked them. So now, whether I was right or wrong, doesn't matter. If they really want to book with me, they're going to text me and say, hey, I was trying to book with you, but I was having trouble. Now, to be fair, the site has been given quite a few issues since the top of the year, since maybe December, November of last year, actually. So that's different. But I'm saying there are times when people have tried to book and they're like, oh, I'm trying. Or maybe we don't even have a relationship and they just randomly booked and then they canceled and then I blocked them. If they don't reach out to me directly, then we're never going to do business. And it's fine. Perfectly fine with me. Because again, we're back to what is the name of this show of Diva Styles TV podcast? It's called Respect the business. Respect the business. And so if I can expect for people to respect my business, if I don't respect my business. And so how I choose to respect my business and how I'm encouraging you also, beauty professionals, grooming professionals, to respect your business is that if someone is not respecting your time or your money or whatever the case may be, you let them go. Cut them loose. Cut them loose. I promise you, you're going to find that the other money is going to come to you. I promise you it will, because it's just like a relationship, a romantic relationship. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you just couldn't let go of someone or something, or they just kept trying to keep a hold of you, and you were like, I know this is bad for me, but it's the same thing. It's like sometimes people want to hold on, but you're not really a good fit together as far as business wise, and yet you continue to hold on. Well, guess what? Just same thing as with romantic relationship. When you cut that person loose, when you finally just say, hey, we're not, meant for each other, or ghost them, or whatever you choose to do. Have you ever noticed how something good will come along? I know it happened for me. It happened for me. Kept trying to leave, kept trying to leave, kept trying to leave, kept trying to leave, crying, they're this, then that, the third. And then it's like when it was finally done, when it was finally really, really done, like we both knew it was done, that's when it was like on the tail end of it. As I let go, it was like that's when God was able to usher that, and I was able to see better. I was able to see better. I was able to see clearer. I was able to see more positive circumstances for myself, and God had a blessing waiting for me. But I had to let go. I had to let go. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Let go. Like, even make a note. I want you to list those people who don't want to pay more, who are going to give you a bunch of pushback or give you problems. Make a list of those people who are habitually late. Make a list of those people who are super negative. Make a list of those people who bring the children or whatever, break the rules that you have for your business. Whatever that looks like, make a notation, make a list, and then I want you that's between you and Jesus, but I'm encouraging you to cut the cord, cut them loose, and open. And then you don't want to drive away other business. Like, what if you have that person that always brings their kid, but your policy is no children? And so what if you drove away other people because they're like, every time I go there, there's a baby there. Every time I go there, there's a toddler running around or somebody. No, so you just messed up hundreds of thousands of dollars because you kept letting this one person come to your business because you couldn't figure out how to break the tie. And if you don't understand how, we can talk about it offline. I'm trying to keep this. We're almost at 20 minutes. I want to keep this keep these segments kind of short, and then I also want to give you some tips or talk about fashion or style or services or whatever at the end of each. So hopefully I don't forget this time for YouTube, because I had to go back and create and do one for IG, but I don't have one for YouTube for this past segment, bridging the gap between the customer and the professional. So again, we're talking about when to block a client. And when I say block, fire is one thing because you can all, but when I say block, you might say, well, you already talked about this, but they're different. And the reason why they're different is because to fire someone is like, you know what? Hey, I don't think this is, working out, or I just really feel like you would be better suited for this person, or, finding someone else. That's firing. Or it could be, maybe you do it in a passive aggressive way and just ghost them. I don't know. Maybe that does include blocking. So they could go hand in hand. But to me, firing would be giving them a reason why, ideally, right? Maybe not every time, but ideally. Blocking, which I'm great for. Like I say, my block game is strong, y'all. I'm so proud of myself. My block game is strong. And so what do I mean by blocking? Like just what it says. You got that Negro that's calling you. Well, I shouldn't say Negro, but you have that person, that guy that's calling you, and you're like, you're getting on my nerves. Block. Or he says something disrespectful. Block. Or that friend girl who's always so negative. Block. Okay. Someone's harassing you. Block. So same thing. It's like maybe you blocked them, but you didn't really fire them. So they're probably like, why? What's going on? Now, yes, you could block someone and you could have already given them the explanation, or you could block them. Then I've had it happen before where I block someone, like say, for instance, on my phone. So I don't have to see their messages anymore. They can't reach me. And somehow they still can get through sometimes, but whatever. Then I'll see it pop up on my tablet, or they'll email me via Stylist or something. I'm like, dang. Or they booked an appointment, and I'm like, dang it. True, I could have canceled it, but I just went on and kind of like let it go. Now we're here. Let me give you an example. So we talked about too many cancellations. So I just had someone I had to send a message to. I wish I could read it on here, but now I can't. I'll give you a synopsis. I'll give you a summary. So I blocked this one particular person multiple times because they were getting on my nerves. I've told you before, I'll tell you again, I don't have much patience, and I don't for bull crap. I have patience for stuff that makes sense, but for bull crap, I don't have patience. I just don't. And so they have literally, so they have this thing. I think that they don't book online, so that it's in a Cash App deposit. There's been times, at least 2 or 3, where I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, well, let's just talk about this one time. I'm like, they said they asked for a particular time and date. I told them it was available, and then I said, okay, send your deposit when you get it, send your deposit, as soon as possible. Well, I never went back and checked that they didn't send the deposit. So now it comes up on Saturday. Let that sink in. It's a Saturday. And I'm like, oh, hey, are you almost here? Oh, I never paid the deposit. So their point is to help you out, that because we're bridging the gap between the customer and the beauty professional. We're bridging the gap. We want to come to where we're on the even playing field, where we all are on the same page, right, as much as possible. She says, well, I didn't pay the deposit. So for her, and what I'm hearing, what she's telling me is, well, I didn't pay the deposit, which means I never confirmed. Oh, I'm pissed. Now I'm ticked because I'm like, now I have a gap in my day because, and maybe they were at the end of the day, but I feel like they were like somewhere in the middle or getting towards late afternoon. I don't recall, but I feel like it was like around 3, like between, I don't know if it was 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. I can't remember. The point of the matter is they jacked my schedule and I was ticked. So, she knew I was pissed. She knew it. This was, and we didn't talk, but I just knew, she knew I was pissed. And then I was going to ghost her again. So, she was like, do I need, and so finally I told her, I said, listen, I said, normally for like situations like, I don't know what I said. Anyway, she offered to pay for the appointment and all this because she wanted to stay in my good graces, and she did. She paid the fee, the how much her hair would have cost her. That's what she paid. I can't help it because it's not like, and you might say, Tosh, that's kind of harsh. You don't know what was going on. I don't care, because guess what? It wasn't the first time that it happened. Like, we just kept having these misunderstandings and me letting it go, and I'd be pissed, but then I would get over it and like, okay, I'll let her come back. We're done. I'm gonna tell you how we're done, because I finally I sent a note. I sent a message. I didn't just ghost her. I didn't just block her. I sent her a message, and I wish I could read it verbatim on here, but it basically says something to the effect. As a matter of fact, I might be able to find it on my watch, because I don't want to paraphrase it for y'all. I want to actually read it the way I wrote it. Oh, okay. So I don't know how that's going to work, but okay. Let's go. Let me see if I can find it. So I'm squirming because I've been drinking a lot of tea and water, y'all. So we're going to try to wrap this up because it's getting close to 30 minutes, and I want to do the last segment. It's going to be really quickly. Found it. Yay. So it reads as such. Hey, blank, I have so-and-so. I didn't call them a name, but I'm not going to say their name on here. Hey, blank. Hey, so-and-so. I have a lot on my plate. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. I did say that. I have a lot on my plate. It's the truth. I can't keep relaxing my business guidelines because of misunderstandings or special requests, especially after explained. I think it'll be better if you find a stylist who can accommodate you on the dime and who is more flexible, since I'm an appointment salon. Missed appointments mean missed money or time I could have scheduled with my family. I appreciate you, but I'm not used to these many issues with clients or customers. Thank you for your business and enjoy your year. I wish you nothing but the best. Love, sincerely, Tosh. And I put hearts. Yeah, I was debating about the hearts, but I was like, yeah, cool person, overall, but too much. Like, I'm the one with the kids. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff on my plate too. And yet and still I show up. I've never been like, girl, I can't make it. Oh, I'm going to be an hour late. No. And if I'm running late with a client, I try to text somebody and say, hey, could you give me extra da 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 da. Like, she can't ever say that I canceled her appointment. Like I just didn't show up, or she had to go out of town and I wasn't here to do her hair. Never. So I've been consistent. I've been professional. I respected my business. So now this is another layer of me having to respect my business and respect my mental and respect my heart and my body and my soul and my spirit, because I don't have time to get upset about stupidity. And that's what I'm challenging you to do. Come up with these. It's like with a relationship with a friend or a significant other. You come up with these deal breakers, if you will. So let's come up with a list of deal breakers. When will we cut the cord? When will we put that person on block or have to fire them or whatever you want to call it? So we talked about what? Too many cancellations, right? And I gave you an example and I told you how I said it. Now I would love to hear your feedback. What did you think about that? It could have been worded differently, but I don't think it was disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. I wasn't going to spend too much time trying to edit it and figure it out, but I think it read how I wanted it to read overall, right? So the next thing is, so we talked about late cancellations, right? Which can do what? It can affect your money and it can affect your time, your calendar. Not respecting business guidelines. Let's go back to kids. So if your business, if you have a sign or it's on your website or whatever, or you've said it verbally, hey, we don't have children here, then if they don't respect that, then that's another reason why you should be able to cut the cord. Or even just booking. They're like, why do I need to book? Can I just come? I'll see you, girl. I'll see you tomorrow at 8. And then God forbid you're up or you found a babysitter and then they didn't show up for whatever the reason, right? So not respecting business guidelines, negatively questioning late or no-show fees. Okay. Oh, so going back to this young lady. So if anybody out there is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that or whatever. First of all, you don't know the situation, but let's just say I'm gonna help you out. This is another part of why I know for a fact I did the right thing. And I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't just that she, and I didn't give you the backstory. She actually canceled her appointment the hour before the appointment. So she reached out to me earlier in the day by telemarketer. Goodbye. She reached out to me. If you want to sponsor, that's different. We want to sponsor the podcast, but no. She reached out to me earlier that day. So she reached out to me on a Wednesday, which was late in the week anyway, Wednesday or Thursday. It was late. And then so she asked me for an appointment for a particular day, like a Friday or a Saturday. So I gave it to her. I gave her the date that she wanted. And so in the time, but the only time I had available was like late. It was like 8:30 p.m. Can you talk about generous? Now, do you see where I'm coming from? Who does 8:30 p.m.? 8:30. So that's all I had. So I said, okay. So she took it. She took it. So she sent the deposit? Yes. And I think I said confirm, blah, blah, blah. So she confirmed. Okay, so we're going to put this on pause. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I am back, folks. I am back. And I knew I should have moved that, but I didn't do it. And so I'm gonna put that in a minute. But anywho, right now we're gonna get back on YouTube because it's still going. Okay. I'm sorry. Whew, geez, I had to go. All this liquid water and such. I could not hold it any longer. So anywho, she so not only did I give her a late appointment, I'm talking about late. That's late, y'all, 8:30 p.m. She has thick hair. It's short, but it's super dense. It's thick. It's typically matted in the back. Like it's a whole thing. I have to hydrate her, all of this. So I'm being accommodating. I'm being accommodating. I got to get up because I need to be here early in the morning too. And I have to get to my family. So I and talk about their day some more and all that stuff, more in depth and sign papers and all this. And eat because I didn't eat between segments. And so yeah. And so she texts me, let's wrap this up. So she texts me earlier that day and she was like, hey, any cancellations? And I was like, no. And then I said, hey, no. And then so I said, why? I said, will you still be able to make it? I'm like, if not, let me know. Something to that effect. Like, just let me know. Don't wait and wait to the end and then not tell me. So now it's what time is it? So now it's 7:30 p.m. Okay. Because she texted me back shortly thereafter and she's like, oh no. Yes, ma'am, I'm still gonna be there. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming. I need the appointment. Tell me why it's 7:30 p.m. An hour before the appointment, she texts me and says, hey, Tosh, is it too late for me to reschedule? Is it too late for me to cancel? Is what she asked me. Is it too late for me to cancel? And I said, yes, it is. I said, yes, it is. I said, however, if you cannot make it, just let me know. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and make you come to the appointment. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all, I'm back. My last break until it's time to leave. But so she waits till 8:30, 7:30 to say, and so I told her, I was like, yes it is, but if you can't make it, let me know. And so she said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. What you thanking me for? I just told you it was too late to cancel. I already paid a deposit. This is why I tell y'all, make sure you get a deposit. So she's already paid her deposit. So she's not getting that back because you just wasted my time and I could have booked someone else. So you wasted my time and my money and you aggravated me. And I've been working all day. So then you fast forward. That's that. I'm like, Lord, maybe it was for the best. I needed to leave anyway. Because I didn't know I had to be somewhere. I didn't know I had to be somewhere early the next morning. I didn't know I had to be there as early as I did. And so I was like, okay, God, maybe that was good. That was a blessing. Only for her to reach back out to me, was it Monday or something like that? And she's like, hey, I know what it was. So after she was thanking me, she was like, oh, then she started throwing all this stuff at me and I just ignored it. I was swamped. I was still in the middle of a client. I'm trying to finish up. It's been a very long day. And now not only did you cancel after I gave you you booked late, then you're asking me questions during a day. I gave you an out, and then you still tell me you're coming only to cancel an hour prior to our appointment. So now I can't book anybody within an hour's notice. More than likely, I had a waiting list and they were available. You know, every now and again, you might have somebody says, oh, let me know if you have a cancellation and I'll reach out to them or whatever. But I don't have many cancellations. I don't play those games because this is why you should have guidelines, restrictions and things of that nature in place. And normally it's tied to money. So yeah, if you have those things in place, people are going to be less likely to say, oh, I can't make it. Okay, that's fine. I'm still going to make my money. So I didn't do anything and I still made money. So, and realistically, I should have my deposit at least half, if not the full amount of the service, but I don't, right? I just do like $25. So then she starts asking me the same day, y'all, after she canceled, was like, oh, thank you so much. And then she's like, oh, do you have this day, anything after 5:30 and this and the third, or do you have anything for Saturday? Who? Now I just accommodated you, and you think I'm about to do this again. Now who would be the fool? I'd be the fool. I'm not gonna be the fool. I've already been the fool too long at this point. I'm done. So I just ignored it. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm aggravated already because you just sit there and mess with my money. I'm not going to even bother to try to ask you for the remainder of the money that you would have had to pay for the balance. I didn't even say anything. Maybe it was about money. Maybe that's why she didn't come. Maybe she decided to buy a new handbag or go out. I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is you're messing with my money and my kids and my livelihood. And so therefore, no, this was the last straw. So then I didn't bother to respond. I don't even want to deal with her at that point. So to wrap this up, and then so she texts me back, oh, hey, did you get my message? Like the next day or whatever. It's Sunday. I'm really not dealing with that time to come into your appointment. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you. So then I think it was like Wednesday. I think I might have said something on Tuesday. I got your message. I'll check and see or let you know later. Maybe it was Wednesday when I got back to her. And then I don't know what I said to her, but the point of the matter is when I finally got back to her, that's the message that she received. That's the message that she received. Because I think she'd reached out to me a couple times, like, hey, did you get my message? And so after I had blocked her, and then and I can't even remember because then eventually she goes, oh, and the only reason I know this is because I saw it on my tablet. She's like, oh, can I use my deposit from my canceled appointment? From my canceled appointment the other day, can I use it towards the next appointment? When I tell you, I have had it up to here. And so, yes, that's why she got that message. So hopefully you're able to follow. I know I had a couple of breaks, but I hope you were able to follow why she is no longer able to sit in my chair. Like, I don't even care what the emergency is. I don't even care. Unless she's like literally, and hopefully she don't bother to pop up on me. But unless it's a time when I really just have a slow period and she needs it like that day, and I know she's coming and she paid her deposit, or at least, no, I take that back. There is no $25. She would have to pay at least a third or half or a third of the appointment before I would even let her come. Again, because she's just done this so much. So that's why I sent her that message. There's been too many misunderstandings, last minute cancellations, last minute appointments. We're doing too much, right? And like I told her, I said, I don't have these type of situations typically with clients or customers. So therefore, I just need her to understand that that's not how I do business. That's how you set the standard. Because she can go to someone else that does. So I don't want to seem like I'm ranting. I know someone else has been out there. This is something that you deal with all the time, I'm just trying to help you, let's say, bridge the gap. So therefore, if you're a client or customer that does this habitually, or if you're a stylist that allows this to happen, or a beauty professional, now you can figure out and you say, oh, wow, so someone else does experience this, or the public can say, ooh, I guess that doesn't sound really professional or considerate of me, right? So that's why we're doing this. So now we can go ahead and start to wrap this up because I know I lost a few minutes. So we talked about when to block clients being too many cancellations. It's freezing in here, but I like it. Cold air kills germs. Woo, Jesus, it's cold. My toes are freezing. Late cancellations affecting your calendar and your money, not respecting the business guidelines. We use children as an example, bringing kids to the salon if the policy are no kids, negatively questioning late fees or no-show fees, because I mentioned to her, which I left that part out, I did mention to her at some point in the messaging that I normally would charge for the late cancellation, but I waived it. I relaxed my standard for her again. And she still comes back a day later or 2 hours later, whatever it was. And she's like, oh, can I use that cancellation fee? I'm sorry. Can I use that deposit from my missed appointment towards a new? Moving on. If someone negatively questions your late fee or your no-show fee, what do I mean by negatively? You told them something and then they're like, what? Huh? You don't want them. Let them go. Cut them loose. Being combative in the same boat, right? Combative, going back and forth. Don't go back and forth. Tell them the policy. You might want to give them a why or two. And then if they still don't respect it, they're gone. Always being late, impacting other clients' time. Impacting other clients and time, meaning now you're having to juggle. Maybe you're like me, you don't really care to jump from 3 or 4 people. Now, depending on what I'm doing, if it works, it's fine. Maybe 2 people. 3 is pushing it. But I prefer to just have one person, get them out of not get them out of the way, but let them go on about their day. And then I can focus on the next person, or at least start the second person, depending on what it is, not a chemical service, but start the next person and then come back and finish out the last person. Again, depending on what the services are. We got to go. But let's see if there was another one. That was it. So always being late, impacting, because, now if you all just have this rapport, if that's what you do, you're late, they're late, whatever. Because I'll text my clients and say, hey, I'll be about 5 minutes behind, or hey, can you give me an extra 15 minutes? Communication, but just someone I've had people literally 40. I've had this one lady 40 minutes. When I tell you the look I probably gave her when she came in, there, I know I gave her a look, because I'm sitting on the ottoman. And I probably got my phone on like this, and she walks in, and I can hear her coming down the hall. And she comes in, and she's just, as usual, was on the phone, all about her, sets her bag in her computer, keeps on talking on the phone. The look I gave her, looked up at her like, I know my look says you can't be serious. Like, I'm trying to remember, did she text me? I think she texted me, told me she was gonna be a little bit late, but not 40 minutes late. So then, I've had another lady, same type of zhuzh, all about her, comes in with the laptop. You got to lay the person down. You're on the phone. You're walking slow. Like those type of people, I try to kind of distance myself from a little bit, right? Or maybe you need to go up on their prices, or have a late fee. So you were 15 minutes. So if have it posted, you're 15 minutes late, you're 20 minutes late, you're 30 minutes late, you're whatever. By the same token, you might say, well, why will you discount your services or discount your services if you're running behind? I will at times. I will, depending on, if it's, 5 minutes or something like that, maybe not. If they're a person who's typically late or running behind and don't tell me until it's the time of our appointment and I'm already here, then I'm not discounting. But there are times for sure when I've discounted my services, $5, $10, whatever, depending on the situation. Even more if the person was there and the person needed a trim and I didn't know it and it ran over. Oh shoot, we're at 40 something minutes. Again, though, we had a couple breaks I had to take. So I want to pose this question to you all. Do you let the person know when you block them, and why? So do you let the person know? Should you let the person know when you block them, right? So they're not just like wondering, why can't I get through? Because some people can figure it out and some people can't. And I've had people say, hey, I can't get through. They may reach out to you and you see it on another device. Like I might block you on here, but see it on my tablet. And then if you do tell them that you're blocked, that you're now cutting ties with them, is there a call? Do you text, or do you email explaining the situation? So I did send a text message, right? I did send a text, but I've tried to break up with this person before. And it just didn't work. So now I'm standing my ground. Like I said, I'm not saying that there'll never be a time. I shouldn't never say never. But I don't want them to worm their way back in, because they're sweet. And I do overall like them. But I don't feel like are a good mesh, a good mix, because they're just not respecting my business. And the purpose of this segment, the purpose of this podcast is to respect the business, right? So now we've finished that. We're done. We have gone over, and we are going to talk about something that some of you are going to think, I can log off for this. But some of you really need to know, and I didn't bother to bring pins up here with me, but I just kind of want to quickly go through so this is the beauty tips, or the style or fashion part of each show that we want to do. Last time I didn't get a chance to add it into the show because I was like squirming and all that, but it was about the bonnets, right? Because I brought up bonnets. So I decided to go to the boutique and get bonnets and scarves and stuff. It's kind of like that was a nice little plug based on the little joke from earlier. But so This particular part, I want to give a tip. So we're not talking about fashion like we've done before in a previous segment. We're not talking about scarves or bonnets or what you can cover your hair with, right? This time we're going to talk about what goes underneath the bonnet. We're going to talk about how to style your hair while you sleep. So something that you've heard of before is pin curling the hair. You can also flexi rod the hair. People will text me sometimes after they get an install and say, how do I maintain this, right? Because they have all this hair, whether it's 12 inches, whether it's 14, 18, 20 inches, whatever. They don't want to go wake up every morning and their hair all over their head. How do I maintain this? Do I put water on it? Do I put mousse, foam? What do I put on this hair? Do I brush it, comb it? What kind of brush? They don't know. So, let's just talk about hair like this. Like, it could be like a body wave. This is straight hair, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is a straight unit. But let's just say if it were a body wave or whatever. So you could do flexi rods, right? Which are super simple. You just want to make sure that you're tucking the ends. So you're going to roll the hair, and you're just going to pop it together, right? You're going to just fold it together. And that is a flexi rod. Really simple. So you want to get like a medium size, not a small, not a jumbo, but like a medium size, like a purple, a medium purple or gray. But I want to talk about pin curling. And you're like, pin curling is simple. So many people sat in my chair, and as I'm finishing their hair, my question to them is, how do you plan on maintaining this? And they're like, I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me. Or do you have any suggestions? Or I was just going to throw a bonnet on. A bonnet? No. I don't know how y'all get up in the morning and y'all hair is intact after just throwing a bonnet on it. But I know people that say they just wrap the hair up and put it in a bonnet. Okay, maybe that could work. I don't know. What I would prefer people to, if you want curls, now there's a way that you can wrap it around if you want to. But if you want some type of curl, and I brush these out, but you could literally take a handful of hair, and I'm going to use my finger as my rod, almost like as if I were going to use it as like a flexi rod. And I'm just going to roll the hair, twist the hair onto my finger, right? And you saw how, I know I did it quickly because I'm just, I've been doing this since middle school, high school. And so now I'm going to lay that in a C shape, right? I'm going to lay that in a C shape. Let me get down here for YouTube. And I'm going to put my pen right in there. Like, say this is a clip. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you a little old school glam. Okay, focus. So we're going to go boom. We're going to do that all the way around. So that's one. We're going to come back here. We're going to do another section, right? Like a handful. Run your finger, brush, comb through it. We're going to just twist it again. You can twist it like that if you want to, or no rhyme or reason. Just twist it. And then again, my thumb is keeping the end from unraveling. Okay, because my finger is the roller or the rod. And then we're going to take it and we're just going to, my finger's there. It's still round tight around my finger. And we're just going to lay that flat. And you're going to pop a cut. So now you have two. And you're going to go here and do one more, or however much hair. This hair is not as dense as my hair that I had in before. I don't believe, no, it's not. So this probably is like 130% density. The other one was probably like, I think it was 180 or 150. I forgot what I had in last. I think it was like 150. It could have been 180. I don't know. I can't remember now. And so you're going to come over here and do the same thing. So I'm going to just like comb through it, finger comb or brush or comb or something. I'm just going to twist, 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 twist. You see that twist? Boom. And I'm going to take my thumb. You can even take your other finger, your middle finger if you like. So now that doesn't come loose, right? It's not going anywhere. And now I'm going to take it. Okay, let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, okay, there we go. I'm just gonna lay that flat because I'm going in a C shape this way and a C shape. So I twirled it down away from my face because I want this to lay this way when it comes down. I want it to go this way. If you wanted it to be more like a hump, like a really exaggerated bang, you probably want to put this higher up, but I don't care. And then I'm going to pop my clip or my pen in there to hold it. And sometimes you might need two. You might need to crisscross them to keep it in place, right? Especially if you're a wild sleeper. And you're going to do the same thing and continue that pattern going to the middle of the head. So when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have these spirals. And then I just take like a vent brush or you can take your fingers. I take a bent brush and then I just comb it out, right? You may have another type of brush or a comb to kind of just smooth everything down to make sure what's to keep it nice and sleek. But see how that's laying? Like this literally was pin curled last night. I have not touched this with a wand. I have not touched this with a curling iron at all. Like I thought about giving y'all a little bit more zhuzh here, but I'm like, no, let's let this be organic. Let's let this lay the way it lays. It's kind of giving you beach wavy look, and this is straight hair. But this has lasted all day. There's no hairspray, holding spray, no product whatsoever. I take that back. Story. I actually have a little bit of shine, an S3 shine spray that is I sell over in Golden Goddess 28 Boutique and Gigi 28 Boutique and online and on DoorDash. So you can have that just for a little bit of shine. So you can actually go, or you can just put a little bit on your hand, do like this, and I just run it through to the ends. And it's so lightweight. It's not heavy. It's not an oil. It's a serum. You do not want to put oil on your extensions. But yes, look how bouncy and pretty that is. Ooh, we are done. That is the end of our segment. We are almost an hour in, sorry, but we had a couple of little breaks that had to be taken. So just give me a little grace on that. But generally speaking, we want to keep them about, like I said before, 20 to 30 minutes. So we covered everything. We are good. If you need to recap, you can go back and replay. I'm not going to repeat myself now because I don't want to hold up any more time. And I got to get home. So I got to break everything down and get out of here. Anyway, I'm so happy to have spoken with you all. Hopefully this answers some questions. Forgive me for the long example, but I was hoping that I just had to give you the whole thing so that you're not thinking I'm just, being bitchy or I don't have a lot of patience, but I do try to show grace. I know things happen, circumstances happen, and I've given other examples in the past. Like I said, we did something about when to fire a client, and I gave the example of the client who, after years and years of doing her hair and growing her hair and beautiful blonde color and this and the third, all these blonding colors we did, she fired me because I asked for a late cancellation fee. She was not able to make her appointment and she had a problem with that and has not been back to me since. She's talked about coming back to me with her friend. She cannot come back to me because she did not respect my business. And so my goal is for you all, beauty professionals, grooming professionals also, to respect your business. And so when we respect our business, that's when the public will respect our business. All right, I've enjoyed you. This has been Diva Styles TV podcast. This is Respect the Business. We're on IG and on YouTube. Leave your comments, leave your questions, and also please share any content ideas that you have for us to share with you all in the public. Okay? All right. Take care.